Hallo Freunde und herzlich willkommen zurück zu Larabout 2, der Dolch des Amon. Ich freue mich, dass ihr wieder mit dabei seid. So, ich habe mir auch ein paar Sachen mal aufgeschrieben, was von den Gesprächen, die wir jetzt schon so hatten. Zumindest mal von den Verdächtigen, die wir bisher haben. Und ja, dann geht's weiter mit den Gesprächen. Ein Gespräch haben wir noch.
Good evening, Dr. Carrington.
Ah ja.
Good evening, Miss Bow. Good evening.
Das ist also dieser...
Good evening.
Good evening.
Das ist dieser Carrington. Okay. Dann lasst uns mal mit dem Carrington reden.
I'm afraid I don't know the gentleman.
Was sagst du über den Kater?
The fellow has quite an overinflated ego. He's got a legitimate reason for it, I suppose.
Eins ja, das zweite... Keine Ahnung, ich glaube eher nicht.
Well, that's me, young lady. Dr. Archibald Carrington III, at your service.
Okay. Hoppala, da wollte ich doch gar nicht hin. Was mache ich denn da?
Oh, he's a good enough chap. For a law enforcement peon.
Also über die Polizei sagen sie alle nichts Gutes anscheinend hier.
I'm not acquainted with the chap. I've never even seen the chap.
Okay.
I've never met your father, Miss Bow, but I have a deep respect for the minions who uphold the law.
Was ist mit Ziggy?
Miss Bow, I find it vaguely offensive that you would even think that I know anyone named Ziggy.
Okay, das ist jetzt auch wieder interessant. Andererseits, keine Ahnung. Ob er ihn doch kennt und sagt, er will nichts mit ihm zu tun haben, ist es beleidigend? Naja, keine Ahnung.
Dr. Miklas is one of the museum's most respected curators. I really haven't had much interaction with Miss Delacroix. Well, of course, she is my assistant. So I guess I should correct myself and say that I do have interaction with her. But I don't know her very well, really.
Ja, das glaube ich dir jetzt nicht so richtig. Da hättest du dich nicht versprechen sollen, glaube ich.
He's a real pip. A genuine go-getter, that fellow. He does a jolly good job of guarding the museum. Jolly good.
Und deswegen ist er auch ein bisschen ungehalten, weil das Ding direkt unter seiner Nase geklaut worden ist, wahrscheinlich.
Now there's an intense personality. He doesn't look it, but there's something seething below the surface. I'm frightfully sure of it. In any case, the fellow is a fine accountant.
Ah. Aber auf meine Idee, dass der Carrington ausgetauscht sein sollte, das ergibt eigentlich keinen Sinn. Warum sollte man den austauschen? Wahrscheinlich ist es tatsächlich nur alt geworden oder wie auch immer. Oder der Kater war einfach... Oder der Kater ist nicht der Kater und deswegen hat... Ah, dann sollte es... Nee, das bringt auch nichts. Nee, keine Ahnung. Fahren wir einfach mal weiter.
A stevedore? I'm afraid I don't discourse with proletarian ruffians of that stripe.
Okay. Und die Gräfin?
Now there's a lady who truly supports the arts. A real patron, that old girl.
Aber die Gräfin... Nee, die Gräfin haben wir, glaube ich, auch noch nicht kennengelernt, glaube ich.
I don't read the newspaper, Miss Bow. I find it eternally depressing. Oh, those poor chaps do their best, I suppose. Good heavens, Miss Bow, my houseman does my laundry. I never go to public establishments when I can possibly avoid it.
Okay. Also so viel zu erzählen hat der anscheinend nicht wirklich.
I've only been there once, but I found the docks to be full of pugilistic ruffians and parasite-infested rodentia. The Lion Decker is simply fantastic, Miss Bow. This is the opportunity of a lifetime.
Do you like New Dr. Carrington.
To be frightfully honest, at first I found it to be a bit rough around the edges. But now I'm beginning to see its somewhat primitive charm.
Okay.
Miss Bow, I wouldn't be caught dead in one of those nocturnal dens of iniquity.
Na gut, dann die 3 wahrscheinlich unwichtigen Sachen.
I dare say it's a bit forward for you to go about writing things about people in that little notebook of yours, Miss Bow. And some people cherish their privacy.
Ja, gut. Er hat mehr darüber gesagt, als ich gedacht habe.
I see you want to get a good look at our displays, Miss Bow. I have to respect that. What a frightfully dull subject. Water glasses indeed.
Have you found 1926 to be a good year for you, Dr. Carrington?
Yes, I would, Miss Bow. Frightfully good.
And what is that, Doctor?
It's not often that one gets the opportunity to head up the most respected museum in America, Miss Bow.
Ja, da ist wohl was dran. Erzähl was über den Einbruch.
What do you make of the theft of the dagger, Dr. Carrington?
It's simply beastly. What is the world coming to when crepuscular ruffians can invade a museum like Visigoths?
Do you have any idea who could have done such a thing?
Not at all. But if I did, I'd be tempted to teach the brute a lesson.
Ja, der ist sauer deswegen.
Egyptology is all quite the fashion now, Miss Bow. But it's been a serious science for many years. I can recommend a number of fine books if you're interested.
Ich glaube in dem Spiel nicht. Dann sind wir hier mal fertig. Ich hätte gesagt, dann gehen wir auch mal kurz hin. Und, ja, speichern. So. Das Gespräch mit Carrington ging jetzt viel schneller, als ich dachte. So, können wir jetzt mit den anderen, mit diesen Partygästen reden? Ne, es sieht nicht danach aus. Wir können nur hier rüber gehen. Vielleicht kommen wir so auf der Seite hin. Das sind alles nur Partygäste, oder?
You see a rotund, ruddy-complexioned man in a fez. Despite his bulk, he moves with dignity and grace. A severe, conservative, middle-aged woman with an intelligent look in her eye. You see a tall Irish gentleman with red hair who acts like a cop.
Vielleicht ist es ein Cop oder Cover-Einsatz.
It's a happy partygoer. It's a happy.
Okay.
It's a happy.
Ja, okay, gehen wir mal zu denen hin. Und reden mal mit denen.
You must be Dr. Ptah Sheptut Smith. Nice gold ankh you're wearing. This is quite a party, isn't it?
I find it distasteful to celebrate thievery in the name of science. The artifacts in this museum's Egyptian collection do not belong here. They belong in Egypt.
That's only your opinion.
It is the truth. And the thieves who rob Egypt of its ancient treasures will find death waiting for them. Amon Ra will have his revenge.
I see. Well, nice weather we're having.
I'm not in the mood.
Okay, den kannte man noch nicht. Das ist jetzt wieder seltsam. Woher kannte sie seinen Namen? Haben wir von dem schon irgendwas gehört? Er stand jedenfalls nicht im Notizblock drin. Aber da können wir jetzt auch noch mal genaueres mit dem reden.
I do not know this individual. You dare to mention his name to me? He is the blasphemous temple destroyer and tomb robber who stole the dagger of Amon Ra from Egypt. He will know the full force of the curse of the pharaohs.
The curse of the pharaohs? What's that?
The defilers of the great Egyptian tombs and temples will all die as a result of their crimes. The gods themselves will punish them. The great Amon Ra will snuff out Peepin' Carter's life as easily as I can crush a dung beetle under my shoe.
How will this happen?
Amon Ra works in mysterious ways. You will have to wait and see.
Okay, also wieder einer, der Carter tot sehen will.
I had hoped that Dr. Carrington would listen to reason. I had made another appointment to speak with him about the return of the dagger of Amon Ra to its rightful home. But this seems futile since it is no longer in the museum.
Another appointment? You spoke to Dr. Carrington once already?
Only by phone. He denied Egypt's claim to the dagger. It was hoped that a personal visit would convince him of our sincerity. But the situation has changed since then.
Ja, jetzt müsstest du dich mit dem Dieb unterhalten, falls du nicht der Dieb bist.
I believe he's investigating the burglary of the dagger of Amon Ra. Perhaps, if he'd stopped drinking, he might have a chance at finding it. I still have some trouble with your language. I do not know this crowd fella. It is some sort of local delicacy?
Nee, nicht so wirklich.
I do not understand the term low fat. Perhaps it is because I learned English in Egypt.
Okay, was ist damit? Wahrscheinlich nix.
The English longbow was a formidable weapon. The English won the Battle of Agincourt against formidable odds because they were equipped with longbows.
I said John Bow, not Longbow.
I've never heard of a John bow. It must have been an American invention.
Nein, auch nicht so ganz. Kennst du ein Ziggy?
Never heard of it.
Okay, jetzt. Ja, warum stehst du eigentlich nicht in meinem Notizblock drin? Das verstehe ich nicht.
Dr. Miklos is very well educated for a woman. I would like her more if she were an Egyptian. Ah, a delightful girl. I keep asking her if she'd like to be my second wife. She is so very feminine and seductive and charming and attractive and...
Okay, okay. I get the idea.
You should try to be more like Yvette. Men would like you more that way.
Men like me just fine the way I am.
That's what you think. I find you quite annoying.
Wir sind Reporterin. Von daher passt die Sache, wenn wir lästig sind. Okay, Wolf Heimlich?
Heimlich is that annoying guard who works here. His fanatical devotion to his occupation is admirable, but he seems lacking in his mental capacities.
Och, das glaube ich von vielen Leuten, die hier sind. Dass die eine Schraube locker haben.
Ramses I was pharaoh during the 19th dynasty, from 1307 to 1306 BC. But Ramses II made more of an impact on ancient Egypt. Ramses II was responsible for gargantuan construction projects which left his mark on the face of Egypt for thousands of years. I admire his great works and hope to emulate his feats someday.
Actually, I was referring to Ramses Najia.
Nigeria's never heard of him.
Are you sure you don't know him?
No? I mean, yes. English is such a difficult language.
Aha. Der scheint, den Ramses zu kennen, aber er will es nicht zugeben, habe ich jedenfalls so den Eindruck.
Do you know Steve Dorian? He works at the docks.
I don't associate with common dock workers, madam.
Gut, wen haben wir sonst noch da? Noch die Gräfin natürlich.
I have only met her briefly, but she seems to have a sincere concern about my problems. A charming woman.
Okay. Dann die Orte.
Never heard of it. So far, I find the police in your country to be very ineffective. The Egyptian authorities would have captured the dagger thief by now, and they probably would have cut his hands off.
Cut his hands off?
It is the proper punishment for thieves. Tradition demands it. We find it very effective in our country.
Eher barbarisch, finde ich, aber gut.
I have not been in this country long enough to discuss the merits of your laundry establishments.
Na dann halt nicht.
I arrived there on the Andrea Doria 1 week ago. If I had known Dr. Carrington was aboard that ship, I would have spoken to him at length during the voyage.
Ja, das wäre eine gute Idee gewesen, aber eine vertane Chance. Aber, ja gut, wusstest du ja nicht.
This could be a fine museum if the management would return its stolen Egyptian artifacts to their proper home.
Dann hätte das Museum aber nichts mehr, was er ausstellen könnte.
Since you're new here, what do you think of New York? Isn't it exciting?
It reminds me of Cairo, except that it's colder here and the people are obnoxious.
Oh, ihn auf die Nerven zu gehen, das könnten wir auch in Kairo. Ohne Probleme.
My English is not good enough to speak easy, but I think it's improving.
So, dann haben wir das jetzt jedenfalls. Ich frage mich, oh, das haben wir schon. Ich frage mich, warum steht der nicht in unserem Notizblock drin? Vor allem jetzt, wo wir mit ihm geredet haben.
Taking notes is a typically American thing to do. In Egypt, we remember everything we need to know because our mental capacities are greater. I forget nothing.
Ja, klar. Bis auf das Zeug, das du vergessen hast.
It should come in handy for examining things. However, I would warn you to be careful about what you choose to examine. I can get my own drinks, thank you.
Would you say this has been a good year for you, sir?
No. The great treasures of my country's past are leaving Egypt in a flood greater than the Nile.
As I understand it, artifacts only leave your country with the approval of the Egyptian Antiquities Service.
Bah! The Antiquities Service is a tool of the British. If they want to steal something, they steal it, just like the ancient tomb robbers. But they will pay, just as the tomb robbers paid whenever they were caught.
That almost sounds like a threat.
I, Patash Uptat Smith, do not threaten. I merely carry out the will of the great Amon Ra.
So, ich habe mir das mal kurz aufgeschrieben. So, was haben wir sonst noch alles? Den Einbruch.
Have you heard anything about the burglary?
No?
Do you have any idea who would want to steal the dagger of Amon Ra?
It has already been stolen once, from Egypt.
I can see I won't get anywhere with you on this topic.
Nein, wohl eher nicht. So, was haben wir noch? Ägyptologie.
Since you're an expert on the subject, what can you tell me about Egyptology?
The study of ancient Egyptian history is of the greatest significance. Many of our modern religious customs originated in the ancient world. The time of the great pharaohs and of the great Egyptian gods was the peak of human civilization. Our modern society is a mere shadow of its former glory when compared to the pinnacle of human development reached by the ancient Egyptians. They knew the truth, and the truth was Amon Ra. He led Egypt to world domination.
Aren't you exaggerating just a teensy bit?
I would not expect you to understand. You are not an Egyptian, and you are a woman.
What's that supposed to mean?
I grow tired of this topic. Speak of something else if you wish to continue our conversation.
Ja. Besser gesagt, nein. Wir haben alles mit ihr geredet. Und ja. Ich würde sagen, als nächstes reden wir mit ihr. Ich könnte mir vorstellen, dass das die Dr. Olympia Michaelis ist. Oder wie sie heißt. Wer er ist, keine Ahnung. Ah ja, genau, wahrscheinlich ein verdeckter Polizist oder so irgendwas. Ja, dann sind die zwei als nächstes dran, denke ich mal. Und dann schauen wir uns noch weiter um. Vielleicht kann man ja jetzt von hier aus mit den anderen Partygästen reden. Ich denke, wir können auch hier wahrscheinlich hier weitergehen. Ja, genau, das geht. Oder hier, das ist die Frage. Wenn wir hier lang gehen, kommen wir dann da oben raus und hier da unten raus? Oder ist es egal, wir kommen immer nach unten raus? Nach unten können wir anscheinend nicht gehen. Naja. Geht nicht, oder? Nee, geht nicht. Ja, immerhin. Es wird angezeigt, wenn man an welcher Stelle man den Ort verlassen kann. Das ist ja auch nicht so schlecht. Gut, dann sage ich mal vielen Dank fürs Anschauen. Und bis zur nächsten Folge dann. Tschüss.